what looked like an amazing deal for the Miami Heat, turning Jimmy Butler, a total overpaid malcontent who had poisoned the well in Miami, whose relationship had ended the way all other relationships with him have ended, professionally, of course, with tears, anger, frustration, and of course, a journey. Pat Riley said to himself, I'm going to have to make the best of this situation. Let me see about the Suns, which is where he wants to go. Is there any way that I can get Durant? That was rumored. Sitting here in Meadowlark Media, ready to record an episode, pretending that we're live, but we were going to do it early. Kevin Durant is a member of the Miami Heat. Let's get it out there so we can be first. Thank God we didn't waste 24 minutes of our lives doing that, since Durant had said earlier in the day, no Warriors, and then there was no deal to be made for the Heat. So Butler goes to the Warriors. Well, before we even get to what happened with the Heat, because it's a major issue that's happening, that right now we're live at 8:03 a.m. Eastern, or it could be 10:03 if you're on the DraftKings network. The NBA trade deadline is not for 6 hours and 57 minutes or 4 hours and 57 minutes. Your choice. Or if you're listening to this later, it's already passed, but I was live now. The Miami Heat have a major problem because they thought that they were going to be under the luxury tax. They thought they would have the exemption, the ability to be in the buyout market. But then Kyle Anderson, who was traded to them as part of the Warriors deal, is now still a Heat. But the rumor was that he was traded to Toronto. And then somehow Toronto said, I don't think I like that deal. And so the Heat were already past pregnant. They were fully birthing, so they couldn't say no to the Butler to the Warriors deal. So now the Heat are in a position where they're on the clock. They've got to get rid of payroll immediately. There's no way that the Heat make this deal without saving money, because it's just not worth it. For Jimmy Butler, how does this happen, Coca? I would love to speak to Jimmy Butler's agent, but I will tell you that it is out of the question that he did not have conversations with the Warriors in advance. Obviously, he had come out already with that list that was rumored by Shams, and then Jimmy Butler's agent said, no way. That's totally untrue. Then Jimmy Butler comes out and says, I'm not going to sign an extension. I'm going to pick up my player option. That's the best I'm going to do at $52.4 million. No sooner is the deal announced by Shams, who is crushing it while Woj is night-night in his bed, lucky bastard, that there's word that Jimmy Butler signed an extension. I figured that can't be true. Let me check it. Let me check the sources. And it is true that Jimmy Butler was given 2 years, wait for it, $121 million by the Warriors. They've lived with him for minus 5 seconds. The old trade for a guy and extend him before we know whether or not he is a pleasure in the clubhouse, whether or not he's going to enjoy life on the West Coast. Not only did they make sure that he was going to be there next year, but they tacked on a guaranteed year. And Jimmy Butler said, I'm 36 years old. They're going to pay me $60 million a year when I'm 36 and 37 to play with an aging Steph Curry, an aging Draymond Green, without Andrew Wiggins, who was one of their top scorers, a big part of their team. And Jimmy Butler said, hell yeah, forget Phoenix. I'll go there after. Maybe when I ruin my welcome with the Warriors, I'll move on to the Phoenix Suns. What does it all mean for these teams? Does Golden State, Steve Kerr, go to bed last night saying, I made a promise. Steph Curry and I met the media, and we told our fans that we would not mortgage our future for today, that we are not good enough to do that. We are in 10th place. We are in the play-in tournament. We're going to be smart. We're not going to chase Amy. I guess Mike Dunleavy Jr. did not get the memo, or maybe it was Joe LaCobe who said, I think we should try again. I don't think we should waste any years of Steph Curry. I think Jimmy Butler pairing him, we'll have a big three. Maybe we'll call it one of the top 5 duos in basketball is what they're trying to leak out. Steph and Jimmy is a top 5 duo. I'd take Wemby and Fox, the new duo in San Antonio, before I'd take today's Steph and Jimmy. I'm not talking about 4 years ago. So the Golden State Warriors did exactly what they said they weren't going to do. They got older, they got poorer, and they didn't get better.